because I gotta drive. So I figure I'd fire one of these up real quick. Um, it is raining cats and dogs. Supposed to get like 3 to 4 inches today under a flood warning. We ain't gonna flood. I mean, it just all goes into the lakes. Lakes and rivers. People downstream might flood, but we don't flood. We're up in the mountains. As much as mountains as they could be. I feel like mountains out here ain't really mountains. They're more like grassy knolls. Rocky knoll. So, I got a little time on my hands and I'm just, I'm not really gonna do like some type of reaction video or nothing to, what we saw last night. If you did see last night, I'll do what I do when I do my chats as to not get banned off of here, but in case I ever am banned, I'm gonna beat it to death like a war drum. I'm over on Rumble. All this shit's backed up over on Rumble, and once I figure out the live portion of Rumble, then I'll probably be over there doing solely lives over there, just so I can say what I want. I don't have to talk in code and all that kind of shit. Anyways, pop goes the weasel. Let's get this day started here. I'm running late. The weather's fucked. Missed the oil change. We're a company truck, anyways. Go do that next week. But anyways, reacting kind of, I haven't really watched. I mean, I watched Sarah Huckabee Sanders' response to the State of the Union. I didn't watch any other real pundits or politicians respond, but I tell you what, man, I say this a lot. I know a lot of people don't like hearing it. You know, I know a lot of people get turned off by it, but since I did the channel in the beginning, I just be myself, say it how it is, and the people that don't like it, that are easily offended, well, then they are. What up, Maze Cat? But God is good to put me in a good place. I mean, this is a whole nother lifestyle out here. This is not Las Vegas, clearly. Any dodo can fucking see, right? Speaking of dodo, they want to bring back the dodo bird. They want to bring it back from the extinct list. But Sarah Huckabee Sanders, you know, I like her. I know a lot of people talk a lot of shit. Until she does something that I don't like, you know, then we can talk. But she's taken on the whole woke shit head on. I know there's a lot of more bigger fish to fry that'll probably fall in line if you just took care of some other stuff, but to just take on the woke shit, you just have to nip it in the bud, you know. You just really do. It has to be snuffed out. It has to be, you know, denounced and all that kind of funny shit, because it's all bad, it's all evil. Even if you don't believe in religion, it's fucking insane. It's insanity. cutting up little kids, putting them in these drag shows, or having them around that, you know, drag story hour at schools, teachers talking to their students about their SX life. I mean, that kind of stuff right there, there should be no reason, there's no excuse for that. Kids are at school to learn, you know, and I'm trying to like beat it home with my kids. My daughter is the hard-headed one right now. She's the me of now, you know. When I was a kid, now, like, she's my one. I mean, my son's like his mom. So my daughter's like me. She's just not trying to hear it. She's not trying to have it. She's just on her own shit, you know. She's 12. She thinks she's, 15 or 16 or something. And so I'm just trying to tell her every day, all the time, like, my job is to protect you. My job is to make sure that you can go to school and learn, that you're there to learn. I don't care about all that other shit. You could have friends, but all that bullshit that goes along with how society is now, the gossiping, the talking shit, the making enemies, especially in a small ass town, a small ass school, like, you're there to learn. You're not there to hang out and bullshit. And here is the 40-year-old version of myself, which would not be hearing it at her age, trying to explain this to her. And that's how I've always tried to tell her, like, my job is to protect you. My job is to make sure that you are fed, you have shelter, you go to school, and you receive a good education, minus all the bullshit, all that CRT bullshit, all the bullshit, like, just leave that out of it. Let the kids be kids. And on top of it, adults protect the kids, man. What's wrong with fools? I just don't understand what is wrong with people. Your only job is to protect the kids. I mean, I don't know that we could protect all the kids. I know we could all start with protecting our own kids, and our own kids this should have not got to this level to where it is now. And that's just the reality of it. And that's not even why I'm firing up this live. But said all that to say this, basically. The kids have to be protected at all costs. And all the communist weapons are aimed at the children to foster them and take them under their wings and indoctrinate them and mutilate them, and their bodies physically and their minds mentally. That's what the Communist Manifesto is. And it's to use the kids to later go after the parents, which we see already going on. But our only job is to protect our kids. And there's most people, I know it's most people would say there's only one way to skin a cat, but the saying is there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? So there's ways about doing things. Obviously, the big one, we'd all fight and take our country back, and life would be awesome, and that's like some fantasy storyland, right? But that's not gonna happen because a couple things. Motherfuckers are lazy, number one. Number two, America's dead. And, number three, nobody's motivated. You'd be the only person out there butt naked on the 50-yard line, and you'll get slam dunked. So there's other ways to skin a cat. I've always said just not participating in the bullshit. Just don't participate in it. If you don't have, I guess, I hate to say it, if you don't have politicians in your area that are locally that are going to stand up for your children in these, these government centers, because that's really what they are. Education is all, it's all, for the most part, government. It's a government facility. I mean, going to any school now, it's like a fucking prison. But I'm going to keep digressing. I'm never going to get to where I'm going. So, if you don't have that option because you didn't get out of wherever you were, then you don't participate. You take your kids out of school. You take your kids out of that bullshit. You homeschool. You, maybe you got school choice. I mean, something is attempting at making sure that you have the best option for your kids and protecting your kids, while I'm stuttering around and trying to figure out the words to say really about it. Excuse me. So protecting the kids at all costs, and that's included, in their minds, the mental mind F that's going on in these schools, what they're doing to kids, what they're teaching kids, what they're teaching kids behind parents' backs, what they're teaching kids out in the front of the parents, wide eyes open, That's I mean, that's not the only that's got to go. I said a long time ago, when the marriage equality or whatever the hell they called it back then, where they redefined what marriage was, even though marriage is isn't marriage in the Bible, it's between a man and a woman, right? So to redefine a term, not I don't think anybody had a problem with them fools getting married, right? Really, who fucking cares? Nobody cares what you're doing in your bedroom. Nobody cares. But why can't you be at least original? Why can't you, I don't know what the word is, but why can't you could have came up with a different term, partnership or whatever. All it is, you don't even believe in religion anyways, right? So all it is really for a piece of paper so you guys could get benefits and let's just say the benefits of being married, right? But no, you hijack a term just like they hijacked the rainbow, right? Rainbow's from God, but guess who jacks the rainbow? But I mean, that's on a whatever note, but they hijack the term marriage and they redefine it and they make it whatever the fuck it is nowadays, right? Now, I mean, nobody even stays married. It was bad enough that nobody stays married. You're supposed to get married. You're supposed to stay married. Sometimes marriage is awesome. Sometimes that shit sucks. I've fucking been through them. I'm no better than anybody else, but to redefine a term that really to me is for Christians or just normal people, I mean, marriage, it doesn't even have to be religious, but marriage is between a man and a woman. It is under God. If you are religious, it's a thing. So to just hijack the term and redefine it, make it whatever it is now, and for everybody to think that it was just going to stop there. It was never about that. It was about making the majority or the other half or whatever you want to say, however many it is, making the other side suffer, making the other side pay. I mean, the communists, they cannot help themselves, but all they care about is abortions and teaching kids explicit shit in school, indoctrinating them. So that's all they care about. They don't care about anything else. All they care about is destroying everything. And so saying all that to get to here, while I fired this up, and I'm hoping I don't lose signal anytime soon. It's not America. America is dead. America is so dead for the people that are still just holding on to it and hoping, and the military, everything is exhausted, and I mean, the only thing scary about America being dead is what's going to happen to all them nuclear weapons when shit totally falls all the way apart. You know what I mean? Is it going to be a bunch of trannies with their fingers on the button? Or wait, is it already a bunch of trannies with their fingers on the button? You might have friendly fire over here. It's just, it's a scary situation. But America is done. America is toast. Everything that everybody fought and bled for, all that was for nothing. it was for nothing because we couldn't keep our end of the deal when we got, past World War II. Once we got past World War II, then we were just the military industrialized industrial complex. I don't know what I'm saying, industrialized. Material. Anyways, they keep saying that tongue twister. I'm gonna get jacked here, but we were swallowed up, by the military industrial complex. We are that now, we've been part of that. We're just up for sale for the highest bidder. And so I was just listening to the radio this morning, and plus last night you hear the bullshit. All they care about is war. That's all they care about. That's all they care about. I mean, they're sending, they've been sending, since Obama, they've been sending troops over there, right? Building up for this European theater, right? They don't send all them fools over there. I said it a long time ago. They don't send all them fools over there, do all them exercises, spend all that money over there for nothing. It's not the way the U.S. military does not work like that. Even being woke, it doesn't work like that. The military itself may be woke, but the puppeteers pulling the strings, that military industrial complex, them fools, they're behind the scenes dumping money into conflicts, and they want their return, and their return is actual conflict. They don't gear up and play war and do all this stuff just so they can pack it all up and have to go home 5 years, 10 years, whatever. They're invested. And so they're doing the same thing. They're building up in Asia. They're building up, I guess, in the Philippines. I think even in Japan. They're building up. They sent a bunch of National Guard or some shit somewhere in Asia to partake in this buildup of troops that we got going on in Asia. And so you hear it on the radio. Fox News is the best to get on there and think and get a listen to the consensus of the left and the right. You know what I mean? The people on Fox, they're not all the way left. They're not all the way right. They're like both. And so you can get what the politicians are really doing behind closed doors, and that's all. And that's that they all agree on this Ukraine bullshit, and now China or Russia. Sorry, Russia and then China. That's what I'm saying. Ukraine, Russia, whatever. But they're geared up. They're slow stepping the inevitable with the war with Russia. I mean, why the fuck would we send Abram tanks to Ukraine? Are you kidding me? I mean, at this point, the U.S. military is just giving away military hardware. It's like a fucking flea market. And we're paying for it. Not only are we paying for that, you got places where motherfuckers are paying like, $5 to $10 for a fucking carton of eggs. So the spending is out of control. They're getting richer than ever. Holy shit, it's really getting nice and flooded over here. Heading over to Harrison today. Everybody's always scared of Harrison. It ain't no thing though. I like Harrison. But they're gearing up for war, for fucking world war. They're gearing up for world war. And let's say I get another 30 on this planet. I mean, I'd love another 40. Anything more than that, I guess, would be awesome. But let's say I get another 30. Unimpeded, right? you think 30 years of my lifetime, so that's my kids growing up also and being like, you know, in their 40s or something, right? You think, I'm just trying to give a timetable here, you think that all that shit, all this gear, all that kind of stuff like that is just gonna fucking sit up there magically for mad years, for mad decades, all this stuff? They're just gonna play war for decades to come? Do you think that they're gonna admit that they were all wrong and pack it all up and go home in the next year? I mean, what do people think? What up, BB? I know, I'm thinking if I get 30 years left on this earth unimpeded, you know, without a world war, maybe I get 30 years. But with fucking world war, you know, years, your kids ain't gonna get 30 years. Ain't nobody getting 30 years. I'm just saying, there's no way that they could send all that stuff and it just sits over there. They're just forever gonna be on watch in case this big one ever pops off. You think they're gonna pack it all up and say they were wrong and go home? Or do you think an actual conflict? I mean, there's only three options. Either we stand guard and we're at high ready for fucking ever, we pack it up and we go home, or conflict breaks out and that's it, you know. I mean, who had World War III on their bingo card? I mean, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look through my videos. Maybe I did. I mean, I really don't know anymore at this point. I've predicted and thought about so many scenarios, and I never thought about the pandemic shit. I mean, I did. We covered it in videos, but I never really had that one on my bingo card. I had EMP. I had EMP because to me that was like the most hopeful. EMPS, right? EMPS, we go back to the Stone Age. All the people that can't cut it won't cut it. All the people that can go on, you know. But what do you do with all those nuke plants and all those nukes that we got stored up too? What do you do with all this stuff when all the power's out? Does it just sit there and, like, I guess the nukes, like, don't they have to be maintained or something, right? So then who knows what happens with that? But the nuclear power plants, those what, they just once they ain't got no power, don't they just melt down and totally destroy everything around it? I mean, let me know. I don't know. I'm new to this, but my whole thing about just starting this thing up today is I just can't believe that they are willing and wanting to take us to war. That's all everybody wants to do. It doesn't matter if it's a media person, politician, all these fucking idiots. I mean, how much of a traitor do you have to be wearing another country's flag in your country? You know, like, all these people got Ukrainian flags. They're flying the damn Ukrainian flag in the Capitol, right? But and they talk about the sixth day of that month, where, you know, the erection, the great erection. You know, they talk about the great erection on the 6th. That's all they talk about. That's all they talk about. It's just like so fucking annoying. Motherfuckers are so sorry. Like, the communists are so sorry. Like, they're the sorriest fucking human beings on the planet. But then, you know, what makes what I'd say the conservatives any better? I mean, the conservatives have rolled over for years and claimed, they've told the people that they supposedly represent that they were going to hold the line on the Constitution, that they were going to hold the line on fiscal responsibility and stuff like that. They never do. So the conservatives are just as bad as the communists, in my opinion. They're enablists. You know, they're lukewarm at best. And so this country is a band of tribes now. Nobody thinks alike. No, no two people see eye to eye. I mean, if you're in an area like me, there's a lot of people that think alike. There's a lot of people that think alike out here. And I imagine that it's the same all over the South. The South, is family, it's church, it's outdoor stuff with the family, it's hunting, it's fishing, it's, growing your own food, raising your own food. Everybody's doing it. So there's something there, but what about the country mostly? I mean, I wouldn't link up with no fucking conservatives. I think it's bullshit. I think that I can't even say something that's negative against the communists without somebody calling me, you fucking conservative, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a conservative, though. I'm not a nothing. I would have said I was a constitutionalist. I'd maintained that for a lot of years now. I mean, the Constitution's dead, though. So what do? If the Constitution's dead, America's dead, what do you become? Do you have to fall into one of these other tribes because your tribe no longer exists? I don't think anything really I say even matters. I'm just talking, but I really fired this thing up this morning because I just can't believe the war shit. We're talking about the annihilation of a lot of humanity. We're talking about maybe the total annihilation of humanity. I mean, the lizard people, I'm sure they'll be deep buried in their bunkers, and somehow, some way they'll survive it because they've been self-destructing the country on purpose for so long while getting ready and rich and powerful. But I'm just blown away. I don't see eye to eye with most folks anymore, because as soon as somebody starts talking about Putin, I'm just like, yo, as soon as somebody starts talking about Russia, it's just like, there's just all it is propaganda. It's so much propaganda. And for what? For what? We're going to go to war with a Christian nation. We're going to blow each other out of the water. For what? For Ukraine? I mean, whether Russia's wrong or right is a moot point at this juncture. We shouldn't be involved in none of that shit. I don't understand why we gotta pretend homies with everybody. There's no reason for it. There's absolutely no reason for it. If it involves sending our young men into harm's way and having them come home in body bags for another what? I mean, why were we in Afghanistan? Why were we in Iraq? Why were we in both of those countries? You ask somebody that, what they heard off the freaking BBC or the PBS or the whatever. Why were we in those two? Why did we lose all those Marines, sailors, soldiers, and airmen? Why? Why did we? For what? What do we have to show for it? I mean, I can name 15 things, 15 cons, results of going into these places. There's no benefit. There's no freedom won. There's no fought for. There was none of that. There was Iraq. There was overthrowing Saddam Hussein that had nothing to do with anything that could have touched or hurt an American? Nothing at all. Afghanistan, as far as I know, the people that flew, the official is that Saudi Arabians hijacked those planes and flew them into the tower. I mean, and then you spend 20 years in Afghanistan for what? To turn it over like Joe Biden did anyways. Whether it's wrong or right, it doesn't matter. Ain't no good way to get out. But how he gets out is like the most stumbling, bumbling, fumbling of a fucking mess ever. Libya, a mess there, a mess still that we created. Syria, oh my God, it's like everybody forgot about the ISIS videos, right? Whether they were real or they were fake, fools were cutting off people's heads on pay-per-view under Obama, under Hillary Clinton. Like, that was like an everyday thing. Somebody was like being put in a cage and then drowned in a pool or run over with a tank. I mean, the shit I seen, whether it was real or fake, everybody argued it was, a lot of people argue it was fake, whatever. That's what was going on as a result of an intervention dreamt up by some fucking clown in Washington, D.C. And it's the same thing that's going on right now. I mean, they're just wet dreaming it right now. They're just wet dreaming how many souls they could sacrifice for their pointless bullshit. They're fucking printing money. That's all they do. They just print money. They just print money. They just print money. That's all they do. Print money and send kids off to die and traffic kids, They traffic kids, send them off to war to die, and get rich doing it. It's like cockroaches. Cockroaches just eat and fucking have babies. That's all. Oh, and shit on everything, right? Get a monster here. Let me get some monster in me. I'm just really fired up about this shit, man. I don't think that's very fair at all to just keep putting us in these endless wars, keep putting us in wars to where it affects the outcome of humanity, like our final story will be like, we had all this space on the planet with all these resources and we killed each other to death, and it wasn't even us, it wasn't even you and me, it was fucking a dickhead in DC and a dickhead in Russia and a dickhead in China. It's not even me and you. It's just like all the shit with the race shit, like the slave shit, the Indian shit. It's like we're just a dumping ground for everybody that wants to fuck over, the normal person. The normal person that doesn't want none of this shit, doesn't want none of this conflict, never owned a fucking slave, and never put nobody on a reservation. It was all the government. It's all the government. And I have news for black people, in case they didn't know, it was fucking black people in Africa putting their black brothers on a motherfucking ship and selling them. I mean, there's slavery going on right now. There's slavery going on right there on the south border. Women and children are being bought and sold. Just like when black people came over on the ships and they were bought and sold, the fucking kids and the women on the border are down there being bought and sold and smuggled. That's what's going on. So it's always going to be slavery. I mean, it's our fault as a country that shit's going on. We're allowing a lot of that shit to go on. But you're saying it's my fault, it's your fault. Don't work that way. I didn't put nobody on a reservation either. That was the same glorious government that we got right now. That was the ones putting people on reservations. So I hate that it's just so willy-nilly with the World War III. I mean, they don't even care. They'll send them whatever they need to send them to make sure this thing keeps escalating. And Putin, you know, I think Putin is either part of the theater or, you know, he's trying his damnedest to not send a nuke somewhere. Because, I mean, the NATO shit is bullshit. Everybody's argument with NATO, and NATO needs to keep expanding and keep, you know, accepting more countries, adding more countries, this, that, and the other. It's bullshit. Why? Why does there need to be this fucking Marvel's Avengers group of fucking countries that's gonna save the world? Like, it's not gonna happen. You're making one big gang, and the people that are not in that gang yet are on the outside looking like, yo, I don't want to be part of your shit. I wouldn't want to be part of NATO either. I wouldn't want to be part of anything the West is doing. The woke nonsense, the straight up just evil that is the West, that is America, that is Great Britain, that is Canada, all of it, all the shit in Australia. I mean, it's true tyranny, it's true sicko pedophile bullshit going on within these NATO countries, these Western countries, America. I mean, it's insanity. I wouldn't want to be part of that shit anyways. I don't want to be part of that shit. I don't think any of us want to be part of it. Just like none of us want to be part of this, let's keep marching off to World War III. I think that the normal person is just trying to work, make a living, and take care of their kids, raise their kids. That's all anybody's trying to do. And everything that gets in the way of that is some bullshit. And this war, this keep talking about war, I mean, they're gonna have it. They're gonna have it with Russia, they're gonna have it with China. Russia and China don't even have a choice, even if they didn't like each other. They gotta gang up together. That's you know, between what? Russia, China, Iran, Venezuela. I mean, you got some big ass, you got a lot of bodies, you know. And we've been selling all our shit, and China's been stealing all our shit forever, so pretty sure they got all the good shit too. And if the military is as woke as I think it is, I mean, I'm hearing about it a couple days ago, some ships crashing into each other, and the admiral saying, hey, one of the admirals saying, we ain't training, all we're training is in CRT, all we're training in is transgender studies. You know, like, can you imagine trying to learn all the woke military shit while trying to do your job in the military? Especially something like maneuvering a big ass ship. Like, get the fuck out of here. But that's what people are being made to do. People are joining at historically low rates, but people are still joining. I mean, you'd think people would just be that shit. But it is what it is, man. I don't know what else to say about the possibilities of marching off into World War III, but I think it's bullshit. I think that every time we get used up for our money, we get used up for our bodies, because they're gonna keep sending fools over there. It's gonna be a bunch of young ass kids, probably your daughters now too, not just your sons. They're gonna keep sending them over there and keep building up and get ready for the conflict that is just guaranteed to happen. I don't see how a conflict doesn't happen. I wish. Alright, we're cutting out there. I think to start losing signal. Kind of getting out in the boonies before we get to this next town. But I wish people were more engaged. You know, everybody's just kind of sitting on their ass, just kind of waiting to see what happens. And I don't think that's the way to. That's not the way to do anything. I mean, go over to fucking Rumble, fire up a Rumble. I mean, let's get this thing figured out. Let's get a panel going over on the Rumble. I'll come up with a whole new crew if I needs to. I'm not really tripping. But it's gotta be peace, man. I hate to sound like a fucking hippie, but there has to be peace. We need to figure out that fighting and killing each other and feeding the war machine is just not going to work. It's definitely not going to work on this one. This is not. I don't know how we thought we were just going to be involved in Ukraine and it was just going to be like fucking Iraq, like where no one cared. You know, like we went into Iraq. Yeah, the world was outraged and shit, but there wasn't shit nobody could do about it. Nobody was going to do anything. I'm talking about other countries. No other country was going to step in there and say, no, you're not coming in here. Nobody was going to back up Iraq and help Saddam, you know, just like nobody was going to back up and help Gaddafi. Nobody's going to help those fools when we go in there fucking kicking over shit. Nobody's going to do that. But over in Ukraine, I mean, how do you think you're going to go over to Ukraine? How do you think you're going to put all them troops on the border? All them troops are right on the border, right? All the troops are on the border. Am I wrong? Am I right? Somebody, anybody alive out there, for fuck's sake. I believe they're all on the border. I believe that we're sending however many billions a month in military aid and equipment to these people. Building up for a big fight that will probably get our asses stomped and who knows what'll be left of America. But you know, like sometimes maybe that's what the bad kid needs is they need their asses whooped. You know, the bad kids need their asses whooped real good, and then America won't never be the same. Hopefully they don't nuke the shit out of us. We don't all nuke each other. Hopefully, you know, if anything, it stays halfway conventional. And regular people, the good people, come out on the other side of this still alive with all their fingers and toes. I don't really know. I don't have predictions as far as which way it goes once it starts. But there's no good outcome, that's for sure. And they're just pushing. I heard it on the news today, and so that's why I jumped on here. I've been rambling for an hour. I heard it on the news. I've been hearing it, and that's all they talk about. They cannot help themselves. They just are. We got to get over into Russia. We gotta give more aid to Ukraine. We gotta get them tanks. We gotta get them jets. We gotta get them this. We gotta get them long-range missiles. We need to beat Putin back. We need to stop Putin. Putin needs to be eliminated. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, they talk about all this shit, the 2014, as if Obama's not the one that destabilized that area. They say Putin did it. So, it's all bullshit, but they're talking on there, well, we need to take care of Russia because we got China on the horizon. The big one is that we're supposed to be at war with China by 2025 now, right? That's what these analysts are saying. And so they got these, I'm about to be out. They got these AI generators, I guess, out there. Not the Chat GP or whatever, the thing that's run by the communists, but there's some other, I don't know, some other AI drawing deals or something. I don't know. You type in like fucking upside down Marvel character in the future or something, you know, like something like random, you know, a Curie, whatever it's called. Type that in and the AI draws it out and gives you its submission, right? So I seen one where somebody posted like America, shit hits a fan or end of times or apocalypse, something like that. and every image, there's like 5 images that the AI generator came up with, look like fucking like everybody's been nuked, you know, like every character was like mutated, humanoid, missing hair, the earth behind it was scorched, everything was burned, you know. It was like the AI, if you're just, I don't think I'm reaching, but it's like the AI saying fucking post-apocalyptic America is a nuclear wasteland, you know. So that's what I got out of that, seeing that. But you could do it for yourself. I forget what it's called, but you could type it in. You could type in anything, and the AI generator will draw it for you. Then you just can't put cuss words or pornography or something like that. But you could, like, to whatever your heart can dream up, you could type in there, and the AI will draw it out. So try it, see what happens. I'm getting my ass to work. I'm getting a little bit closer. I'm still a ways out. But, oh my God, by the time I get to my first one, I'm gonna fall asleep. Shit. Oh, it's a drive. Oh! Well, hitting Harrison over here. All you hear over here is the same shit, like around the area. Is that this place is the most racist, this, that, you know. It's just like I'm just blown away about the double standards on race. You cannot be pro-white anything, or you will be a racist, you know. But you could be pro and pride of any other race, and it's perfectly acceptable. So the thing about it, every time I come over here, because I hear it all the time, oh, that place is the most racist place, blah blah blah. Like, places won't, I don't know, like, my business, like what, like we won't even send anybody over there past 5 o'clock, like after it gets dark over here. Had some lady the other day that needed me to come after dark. Fucking send me. I don't give a fuck. I'm the only person that is working this area anyway, so I'm the only one that's gonna go over there anyways. But send me over there. There ain't nothing wrong with Harrison. And if you hear that, then people don't know what the hell they're talking about, because there ain't nothing wrong with Harrison. I mean, there's only a couple fast food places I'd eat at out here, because everything sucks, but people in Harrison are cool. But World War III, man, what do y'all think? Leave some comments, leave some likes, share, all that good shit. And I'm over on Rumble. Look at my little bio on here. Maybe I'll stick it in. I'll start sticking it in the description on each video. I want to say they erased my shit when I post the Rumble link. I know it's on my main bio page, but I'll have to start doing that so people know. Follow me over at Rumble until I get the live thing situated over there. I won't be going live, obviously. I'll be going live over here till they cut me down, which is coming, because I got 1,000 videos, and every day they come up with another reason to ban a video or terminate your account. So I heard if you insert a magazine now, your channel can be banned. So how many videos of me inserting a magazine is there out there? Probably hundreds. So it's just a matter of time. But don't forget that I told you I'm over on Rumble. That's where I'll be permanently when they take me out on here. So shout out to everybody. It's hump day, I believe. It's a wet one, a wet humper.